Good afternoon, everybody. It's me. Oh, I just kicked one of my water bottles. Ooh, that's one of my my Arrowhead water delivery. That's one of my bougie extravagances from when I had a job that we'll discuss. But I'm back on today because I wanted to discuss a couple of different things with you folks. So thanks for tuning in. I'm here by myself in my kitchen. I'm trying it off my laptop this time to see if we can get a better Wi-Fi connection, or as they used to laugh at me at my previous position, the youngsters, they used to say, you know that Wi-Fi stuff you have, Lynn, Wi-Fi? Okay, no, I know it's called Wi-Fi, all right? Anyhow, so I'm in my kitchen, and I wanted to finish yesterday's video where I was asking my friend Elizabeth Heatherton, or telling her, I hope you didn't tell your husband that you not only left the keys in the ignition when you went to the ghetto Costco, you left the car unlocked. And she said, yeah, she did tell her husband. And I was going to start by saying, or I started to say, well, I would never want to tell my husband. And some of you have actually inboxed me or private messaged me and said, well, why wouldn't you want to tell your husband? Okay, well, first of all, why would anyone want to tell their husband that they had a complete Dumbo move, like leaving the keys and the car unlocked? Liz knows it was dumb, she already said. But I wouldn't want to tell my husband is because we love to tease each other incessantly. And he would never let me live it down that I left the car unlocked anywhere with the ignition in, the keys in the ignition. So anyway, that's the ending conclusion of yesterday. If you hear any clacking in the background or talking, that is my parrot Arizona. I have a Moluccan cockatoo. So if I can't keep him quiet, I will have to get up and shut the door. And because I have no idea how to edit anything, you'll just get to see my butt in my yoga pants as I mosey over and shut the kitchen door. Today I wanted to talk about, in addition to finishing the conversation from yesterday, I want to talk about a little bit more about me. Oh, how interesting, really? You only want to talk about yourself? That's true, I don't have any interview today. Nobody came over. But anyway, what I want to say is hopefully I'm getting some new followers here on YouTube. I did start a Instagram page for the Wellness Weirda at the suggestion of my niece Paige, who has her own podcast. And it's a true crime mystery podcast, which I hope to interview her soon so that we can learn more about that. But she gave me some tips, and she said it'd probably be a good idea if I had my own Instagram for this video podcasting I do. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about, I put pictures of myself up. A comparison of a before and after, which at this point most of you know me personally and know my weight loss journey. But I still get questions from folks on Facebook, on my personal Facebook page, when I post pictures. And they can see that I've lost well over 50 pounds. People want to know, how'd you do it? What did it take? How long did it take? Do you still do it? Did you have to exercise a lot? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. So let me give you the condensed version of my weight loss journey. I started it on July 2nd of 2018. And I was close to 200 pounds. I've been a little bit over 200 pounds. My height is just a little over 5'3". I like to say that because I used to be 5'4", a giant in my family. Okay, for the ladies. So, but you know, I've shrunk with age and osteoporosis, or actually have osteopenia now. So it's been downgraded because of all the supplements that I take to help with that. I don't take any prescription medicine. I'm 55 years old. I turned 55 about this time last month. And so last year I decided to start eating better. And I think I started out doing a keto diet because I believe my husband, who doesn't have but maybe 5 or 10 pounds to ever lose, he wanted to do a keto diet. And so of course I'm the person who manages the kitchen in our house. and all the food and the cooking. He does a lot of cooking as well, but for the most part, I do the menu prep and all that kind of thing. So I started investigating keto, and we ate like that for a couple of weeks, and I got a good jump start on weight loss. I really, I did not exercise at that time. So I was really just trying to embrace making a change and eating better. Then after that, my weight loss kind of stalled for about a week, and so then I thought, I wonder if there's something different I should be doing. So that's when I decided to count calories. And in the beginning, I'd say the first 6 to 8 weeks, I was getting 1,500 calories a day to work with. And then after a few weeks, that kind of, my weight loss sort of plateaued, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I read somewhere wrong that somebody for my height and age and frame, I'm a medium-sized frame, body frame, and maybe that's too many calories. So I Googled it, of course, and I came up with, oh, you should have 1,200 calories. Okay, 1,200 calories. 15 seems scary enough, but 1,200 calories, folks. Wow. So I kind of just divvied it up that I was going to do that. And so from there, what I would do is each meal was probably 300, 350 calories, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then whatever I had left, I had an ice cream sundae, pretty much 4 to 5 nights a week. And that ice cream sundae was, of course, counted in my calories, and I was using Dreyer's, or I still have it, but I'm not as obsessed on the Dreyer's slow churned right now. But you could get a half cup of Dreyer's slow churned with all the with some chocolate sauce and whipped cream and nuts and all that. You could do that, and you'd have like a 200-calorie snack, and it was very satiating. It satisfied me. I was like, oh, okay, I feel like a normal person, because the majority of what I was eating cottage cheese. Only from Knudsen. I do not eat any other brands. I can't take any other brands. They don't taste as good, or they're too salty. I eat goat milk yogurt. I get that from Trader Joe's. I don't eat really anything anymore with any kind of bread. Very rarely will I have a hamburger, because I just don't want to waste the calories. So that was the most beautiful part, was that I learned how many calories were in things I was eating. For instance, white rice. I love white rice, okay, because I'm a pig that way. I love starches. Some people say, oh, I would rather get my calories from eating a piece of pie or a whole cake or, I don't know, some other sweet kind of thing. Me, I could eat a whole box of Kraft mac and cheese. And the calories in that are more than a day's allotment. And I'd eat that for like a meal. Or a box of rice and roni. Oh, another delicious treat. And the sodium, so gnarly. So I realized, wow, a half cup of white rice? Man, that's as much as like 4 ounces of chicken. And see, a piece of chicken, or even a tablespoon full of olive oil, if you just eat that, something that is rich in nutrients is going to keep you fuller longer than, let's say, a cup of rice, or half cup of rice. And it's the same amount of calories. So that's what I did, is I had a big awareness of how much calories things really were, and I just played with it, and so that worked for me, and I lost that weight in about a year. It's been about 55 pounds. I would say about the last 6 weeks I've been at a plateau. So I think that's because I reintroduced drinking beer. I did eliminate that. Well, let me back it up though. I totally eliminated my red wine, and for those of you that know me, you know I love my red wine. I was part of a lot of wine clubs. My husband and I would go wine tasting. And in the beginning, I kind of was factoring those calories in. Instead of having a sundae, I would have, 6 or 7 ounces of red wine. But at that point, it was just like, what's the point? I can't get a buzz off it. Well, then I started to incorporate beer, because I thought, well, I can do with just one beer, because that keeps you, it gets you full, and you can't down, at least me, I can't down beers like I can have 2 or 3 glasses of wine and awesome, the magic potion. So I let go of the wine, and then I reintroduced beer, and I think that's what's kind of been keeping me a little bit of a stalemate. I may drink 2 to 3 beers a week. I know that's not a whole lot, but I like the IPAs. Sometimes 4 or 5 in a week, but that's just enough, I think, to keep me at my plateau. But I've also reintroduced having desserts more often. And okay, but back it up. So back in back in August of last year, after losing probably about 15 or 20 pounds, my husband and I had a trip. We were planning to Europe, and in particular going to London and Paris. And I had done a lot of reading, and I was very panicked that these Europeans and the British folks, they were going to look at me and go, look at that fat, smelly American. She's too fat. Look at, I mean, she can't even hardly walk, blah, 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 which I can walk just fine. But I didn't want to be that person that's pooped out and has to miss outings because I'm too fat. So I started walking. I started getting my walking on, because I know there's a lot of walking that happens in Europe. You got to walk to the train stations. You got to walk out of the train station. You got to walk around the town. You got to walk museums for, oh my God. So a lot of steps. So I started, in essence, training for my European vacation, and I started walking. So that helped me lose, accelerated my weight loss as well. Then the rain came, and if you know Southern California, it's not a whole lot of rain, but it was enough rain for enough amount of time that I kind of got out of the habit of walking. Well, then starting in February, I started taking yoga classes, and that reinvigorated my passion for getting those endorphins and movement. And so I started yoga, and I started out just going once or twice a week, for the first few weeks. And then I joined my local yoga studio, Casa Ayurveda, actually Casa Ayurveda, here in San Pedro. And so I bought the monthly pass, and so I could go as much as I wanted. So I started that, and I was going, 3-4 times a week. And then I lost my job a couple of weeks ago. A couple of months ago now, middle of July. A job I'd had for over 6 years, which I may talk about that in some upcoming episodes. But I started realizing I can't be driving around to do everything. I got to start figuring out this walking thing again. So I amped it up. I walk everywhere now, and I got a Fitbit. And the funny thing is, I ordered this Fitbit. I call it Fitbit, just whatever. But I ordered my Fitbit on July 15th, the day, which was Amazon Prime Day. That's the actual day that I got let go from my job. But so I was glad I ordered it then, because I probably wouldn't have ordered it. And it has really helped me challenge myself to push myself. At first I was like, oh, you can only do 8,000 steps a day. Then I amped it up to 10,000. And now my benchmark is 12,000 steps a day. And I walk everywhere. I walk with a purpose. Lots of times I walk for 16,000 steps a day. Like this morning I got up, my husband likes to go to the farmer's market, and I walked to the farmer's market. I met him there, and then he drives me home, because it's a 2-mile one way. I walked to the yoga studio, which, as you saw from yesterday's video, Liz and I walked to yoga. I walked to the post office, I walked to the ATM, walked to the deli. I walk wherever I can within reason of not, passing out or lying flat on the ground dead. Yeah, I'm not that crazy yet. So incorporated walking, and so with the walking and doing more physical exercise, I was able to introduce some more fun things to eat, more higher calorie things. So I'm trying to find a balance in that. But I am definitely working hard towards not just a physical transformation in myself, but also a mental transformation in myself. Not drastic, but one of being more at peace. One kind of at trying to find myself. What's my higher purpose in life? Just so I attract the right employer this time. I attract the right type of people in my life. And I can already see that there's a shift, even with the friends that I've made at the yoga studio. It seems like we're all on that same kind of journey of mindfulness. And so I'm excited to see that a lot of my friends that I've had for many years, and family and people, they've come along with me on this journey. My husband does yoga with me when he can. So a couple times a week he and I take yoga together. My friend Kathy Malone does yoga where she works out. I know my friend Genevieve has joined a yoga studio in the past, and I know my friend Lisa is an advanced yogi, and she does it at home. She doesn't even need to go to a yoga studio anymore. But I don't know that I would ever not go to a yoga studio. I really like being around other people, and I like the guided meditation part of it. But maybe I'll, at some point, I won't join, be part of a studio. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it would be my personality to do it here at my house. But anyway, that's a lot about me. I have an agenda of things that we'll talk about on here. And some of it is going to be a little crazier than just all, talking about my wellness journey and fluff. And I don't want to say fluff, but, happy stuff. Because a lot of times we only look at the external transformation of people, but, there's always the way you think about yourself that has to follow suit with the way maybe your body looks now, and the attitudes and behaviors that go along with that. But I'm also kind of a funny person, so I'm not really funny right now because it's clearly a serious topic. Going from a big fatty to a normal sized person is a big deal, and I can't even explain to you how I thank my lucky stars that getting ready to go on job interviews and present myself am all these pounds lighter. I have had to try and find jobs when I was over 200 pounds, and to talk yourself up and act like and hope that they don't notice that you're a biggin is very tough. So I'm very, very happy that I can walk in with the confidence of at least how I present myself and what the shape of my body looks like today. Also, I'm very happy that I didn't have to do it through some kind of surgery. I've known many people that have had the surgery, and honestly, a lot of them go back to being very overweight, and I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's because they really didn't learn any different food habits or whatever that was, but if you're on here and you're listening, you can lose weight organically. You can eat right for what your body requires at your height, weight, frame, and age. It is doable. Then also, I like to have fun on here. Some of the stuff may not be really wellness related. I might just want to interview somebody that I think is interesting for you. But again, that's planting seeds in your brain that are wellness for you. You got to stretch your mind a lot of times. You got to think outside the box. You got to not just be in your own world all the time, thinking work, come home, take care of others, cook, clean, do the laundry, go to bed. What about time for yourself? What about reading books, mysteries, novels? Self-help, of course, is always fantastic. So I hope you see that this wellness weirdo or weirda, wellness weirda. I wanted wellness weirdo, but I couldn't get that as a hashtag kind of thing, because some little dog that lost both its hind legs on like a wheelchair kind of thing, he's got wellness weirdo. Wellness weirdo. I don't know how that correlates, but how he's a wellness weirdo, but bless his little heart. So I came up with wellness weirda. But I hope that this journey with me is fun for you, and some days I'm going to talk about some crazy stuff, like my bougie ways when I had a job, and the ways that I'm still bougie that I refuse to not, things I don't want to give up, and things that are bougie that I never did do, so I don't have to give those up. But yeah, so that's it. This is me. I hope you are having a good day, and we'll see what tomorrow brings as far as checking in. So I appreciate everybody's comments, and I appreciate your support, and I hope you have a fantastic day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the time zone. I hope it's great. Thanks for chiming in and checking in.